Most people, like myself, move to Australia and figure everything out the hard way, feeling alone, overwhelmed, making pretty expensive mistakes that nobody warned you about. This show, Just Call Me Bridget podcast, exists so you don't have to go through that. I'm Bridget. I have done all the farm works that you can possibly imagine in Australia, and for the past 3 years I've been doing FIFO and offshore work. I have been through all of the visa stress still to this day, and every single week I will bring you the conversations, the stories, and all the information that will be useful to you that I wish I had when I started my journey. This is Just Call Me Bridget podcast, and stay with me to listen to another amazing episode. Welcome back to another episode of Just Call Me Bridget podcast. I am so excited today. Next to me is a woman called Angelica Tiik. She has been in Australia for over 10 years. And oh my God, has she lived different lives. We will go all into her story today, how she's done so many different jobs, from starting at farms, heavy machinery operating. And for the past 7 to 8 years, she has been running a lash business called Angel Lash, which has been doing so well that it's award winning. She is now has been teaching new lash technicians. She is so booked out, so she's literally not even taking new clients. And which I'm the most excited about is that she has been sharing so much about literally women in the business and beauty industry, how you need to manage your mindset before you can actually run a successful business. She's recently given out her own Becoming Her workbook, which is all about the business mindset and self-leadership. And I'm so excited for you to hear all about her incredible Australian journey. Welcome to the podcast, Angelica.
Thank you.
I'm so
Wow. What an introduction.
And I mean, it didn't even cover everything that you've been doing. Sincerely, if it doesn't even matter if you're interested in the beauty industry or working in the beauty industry. I think, how you shared, how you have had so many different versions of yourself throughout that 10 years in Australia has been just, oh my God, I think like we can all relate, but you've actually like taken the leash of your life and just fully done a 180. Before we go into like the start of your journey, where you were still like working at farms and working, doing like heavy machinery work and so on, before you actually found Angel Lash, take us through like your daily life now. Like, what have you been doing with Angel Lash, and how did you come to creating this workbook and all about that?
Well, with Angel Lash, I provide lash and brow services. That is what I've been doing for the past 7 years, 8 years. And I have always been working on how women look and feel. Obviously, providing that confidence boost with lashes and brows. But last year, I went to Bali for 3 weeks, where
True, I didn't even mention this. Yes.
where I studied to become a yoga teacher. But the training that I did was a lot more than just yoga. It was all about nervous system and stress and how we think and why we think with the way we do, and food, diet, like how everything is affecting you. And as a business owner, you have to do a lot of self-development. Like, you have to change your mindset about things, and every new level in your business kind of requires a new level of you. It requires new standards and new habits and all of that. So I think it has been now like a ripple effect since that yoga training. Um, and I feel like I've been working on how women look and feel in their skin, but I think I'm now more working on how they feel internally and yeah, feel like confident within themselves.
Mm-hmm. How did even that idea come to go to Bali to do the yoga training class?
Um, Good question. It actually came quite randomly. To start with, I'm not really into yoga, but I saw this advertisement for this training, and I just knew that it's something I have to do. Um, yeah, it was like in Bali in the jungle. You're surrounded by like-minded women, and 3 weeks. That sounded like such a challenge because every day, like when I saw the advertisements, your day starts at like 5, 6 a.m. and I'm not a morning person. um, it's a lot of like workouts, vegan food for the whole time, and I loved how they had such a different approach to yoga and yeah, all about nervous system and mindset and all of that. And I was like, well, that sounds like I really want to put myself out for this challenge.
Yeah, it's such, it's like a full circle moment because, working how you shared throughout your journey, like that when you were at the start of your Australian journey, you like slowly started to like sort of lose yourself in that process. Then you started doing lash and, brows, which is all with like working women, literally making them feel better for a living. And now doing all of this yoga retreat and doing this workbook, like it's, and I agree totally. I think, especially women, we tend to underestimate ourselves in the business industry overall, and just not because of our own, feelings or lack of feelings or lack of love towards ourselves, our businesses are suffering so much. What do you feel like you had to sort of change in the way that you do business? What was your like biggest challenge to overcome that was keeping you back to fully like go all in into Angel Lash and like teaching other women how to do business?
I think when I started Angel Lash, I started Angel Lash because I had to. I came back to Australia and I came on a student visa. I was studying business and I was in a very toxic relationship and I didn't have a job and I was very um, insecure and I didn't have like much outlook on life. But before I first came to Australia, I had done a lash course and I don't know what it was, but one day I was like, I'm just gonna start doing lashes to help myself financially. And Angel Lash was how I got out of that relationship and how I started maybe seeing more value in myself or finding myself. Um, Previous to Angel Lash, I had only been working in like male dominant industries. Even before coming to Australia, I was working at the airport in Tallinn. I was doing aviation security, so I was always like one-on-one working with a male. And even in my school years, well, I think I had another girl in my class, but everyone else was boys.
Oh, wow.
So I had always been surrounded by men. But starting with Angel Lash and starting working with women and surrounding myself with women, I started learning so much about, yeah, like confidence and self love and all of these things. And when I went to Bali, I had this like beautiful group of women and they were so like encouraging and we did so many different like exercises where we would like tell each other like how we see each other, and I don't know, it was like it was really beautiful experience. And I don't know, I started like really seeing myself like, oh my god, I have done all of these things and I've got so much to give and so much to share. And I think like my experiences and stories and everything that I have shared with other women, everyone has been like, oh my god, like this is crazy, like we should teach this. And yeah, I don't know, I guess that's how it came to that. And now more and more I see so many women struggling in business and struggling with burnout and struggling with the hustle culture and wanting these like flashy things, but then realizing they didn't actually want them in the first place. It's just that something that has been fed to them on social media. And yeah, I think I have such a different perspective on how to run a business. It's a lot more holistic. I see everything as one when it comes to our lifestyle and business and how everything works together. So right now I have come to a point where I feel like everything in my life is very balanced. I work 3 days a week. I used to work like 6-7 days a week and like 12-13 hours a day. So yeah, I think I have so much like knowledge to give. And when I started Angel Lash, I was actually studying business. And I've also come to realize that especially in the beauty industry, women mostly study the skill, but no one really studies business. So everyone's kind of winging it when you can actually have pretty simple systems and everything in place.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I feel like, when you're starting in the beauty industry, let's say, you're starting and your only goal is pretty much to fill your schedule, right? As much as possible. And then to reach that point and actually understand like, oh my God, like you can only work as much as you can. You said you did like 6 or 7 days a week and it's like back to back with lash clients. That's insane. And then to take that step back and actually realize like, this is not good for me.
Yeah, it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I want to little bit go back to how you mentioned that you were in sort of a bad relationship in Australia before you started Angel Lash, which really drove you to start Angel Lash overall. I don't know, I feel like it's such a fragile topic overall, but I do want to speak a little bit about it because there's so many women in Australia that end up in a similar situation where they're being well, I don't actually know too much about this, so it's gonna be the first time for me to hear about it too, but you can only share as much as you feel okay about, but just maybe under like what can you share about that relationship that you were like that you can sort of warn others? Like, were there any sort of red flags in the first place that you never should have ignored? And, to not only be in a bad relationship, you were pretty much in a situation where he could manipulate you because you were under his visa, which makes Australian relationships, like most of them, toxic, I reckon, because, you're literally like tied because of a visa. And then I've heard so many women be like, it's such a bad relationship, but otherwise I'm going to get kicked out of the country. So they just sort of try to keep it going until they actually are able to leave.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
So these are actually two separate relationships that we're talking about here. So my relationship when I started Angel Lash was with an Australian, and it was extremely toxic. And I experienced domestic violence, and there was definitely red flags to start with. Was all the love bombing and he was really, really good at that and obviously experienced. He was a bit older than me. And at the time, like I mentioned before, I was very insecure. I was very shy. I was very, I don't know, I guess like lost. Like I didn't know who
So
I
you were the perfect
was.
victim for.
Yeah, I didn't know what I wanted from life. I was a machine operator in in the desert, and yeah, I didn't have much like ambition or like confidence. So yeah, I was definitely a perfect victim. And on top of that, I got really sick. I got staphylococcus infection on my face and decolletage on my back. So I lost like even that little bit of confidence that I had. Like it just changed the way I looked so much. I was very ashamed of myself. And he was still love bombing me and saying like you're so beautiful and all of these things, even though I knew it wasn't true. I went back to Estonia, and when I got to the airport, I told my mom, "Don't tell anyone I'm back home. I don't want anyone to see me like this." It was terrible. And
so what is this disease? I've never even heard about it.
Staphylococcus, it's like this bacteria on your face that's, I think it's like eating your flesh.
Oh
So
my God.
I had this like big holes on my like face and neck and scabs and this like liquid coming out from my face. And for a while I didn't know what it was, and I was trying to cover it with makeup, which made it worse. And when I got to Estonia, I was literally like scratching my face. It was so itchy, so irritated. And I went to the skin specialist, dermatologist, I think it's called. And they took samples and they were like, yeah, this is staphylococcus bacteria and it's like sprayed all over your face and yeah, like back and neck and decolletage. And it took a long time to heal from this. And yeah, he was definitely like love bombing this whole time. And he was the reason I came back to Australia. I was like, oh my God, this must be like true love, because I'm going through this and he's still like saying how beautiful I am and all of these things. Even though like you can go to my Instagram now and you can see I was like unrecognizable. Like, I was like not looking good. But I came back to Australia and yeah, then I found myself in this relationship that was very toxic, very violent. And I had started Angel Lash somewhere like during that relationship. I was on a student visa then, but he did say that if I'm not going to stay with him, he will do anything for my visa to get cancelled. And yeah, he was definitely in the position to manipulate me financially, emotionally, with the visa, everything like that. But it got to the point where it was so bad, I had to leave middle of the night. I literally took my lash supplies, I took my dog, I took some clothes, and I left, and I never looked back. The next day I went to the police station to file a restraining order, and the case was so bad that I got to the court the same day. Usually you have to wait like a week or two, I think, to get your hearing. And yeah, I was at the court and they went through like a couple of messages and they wanted evidence from me, and I had so much evidence. I was like, I don't have enough room on these papers to write all the evidence. And it got approved straight away. And yeah, it was really, really crazy time in my life. I think the same day I went to court for this, the afternoon I was doing lashes. And it was, yeah, crazy time.
How long did it get you to start appreciating yourself, to actually understand like you're not worth that behavior from someone?
A long time. A long time. So I left that relationship because it started affecting other people. And I remember back then I was thinking that I can handle this. Like, I'm fine. But it started affecting other people, and that's the reason I left. And
What do you mean started affecting other people?
I had a friend over, and the abuse got so bad that he started abusing my friend. And that's where I was like, no, like you can't um, do that to other people. And I think he was like um, messaging my mom or something, like being really nasty. I'm like, this can't, like, that can't happen. And that's when I left. I don't know. I don't probably want to go too much to detail of like the time when I actually left, but it was bad. But then I didn't quite still have the like confidence or like understanding of myself. So I got into another relationship, which was a lot better. I started understanding or like having that confidence a little bit, and I had my business already. So I got into another relationship, which was a lot better, but it started going downhill at some point as well. And that's where I had a visa with a partner. And that was the relationship where he was like, well, if you're going to leave me, I will cancel your visa. Yeah. But honestly, I think for me, by this point, it was, I just said, do whatever, because I'm not staying on your visa or staying in this country and putting up with that. Like this, it's just not worth it. But I do see that a lot of people stay stuck in those relationships, and they are really easy to manipulate, and the stakes are high. But I guess like maybe what I would have to say is like the grass is greener on the other side, and you can make it happen for yourself. And the moment you decide to put yourself first and take those steps, even though they're scary, and sometimes you don't even see where it could take you. Sometimes you don't even see like what happens after that step. But once you decide to put yourself first, and you decide like, no, I'm not worth it, I'm worth better, I'm not putting up with this, then I think your whole world changes a little bit.
Yeah.
Your
But it's such a scary leap. And I feel like there's, women are just so scared to actually, because sometimes it feels scarier to leave and the unknowing rather than to put up with what you already know, what the situation is.
Yeah, because you're comfortable with that.
Yeah.
And I work with women now day to day, and I have clients that are in similar relationships and are putting up with that. And one thing that I have learned is that no matter how much other people tell you that it's not normal or it's not right or you work better, or like there's so much more to life than this. They have to come to that decision within themselves. You can't really like,
that's true.
You can give advice to other people, but
I mean, same with addiction or anything else. You have to be the one to make the decision. No one else can make it for you. What would have helped in your situation when you were at your lowest point? Or did you always feel like deep inside of you, you always had that strength to sort of leave? Or you always knew that there's a better version out there? Like
no,
deep down?
I didn't. Definitely not. Yeah, I think I was like very comfortable, and I didn't know that there's better out there. I don't know what it was. Like one day I was just like, well, it's enough of this. Like I'm not putting up with that anymore. But I couldn't have imagined like what was like out there for me.
Yeah, I mean, freaking look at you now. Unreal. I mean, I feel like all of us I can't say all of us, but I think it's so empowering to see, you know, as you said, like you were working in the airport back, you know, in Estonia. Then you came here, worked at the like the farming and, you know, machinery, still like very much like blue collar work. Then you went through like a freaking very bad disease, and then you had a bad relationship. It's like, how much down do you need to go in your
I
life
know.
to finally see, you know, your powers and your strengths?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's unreal. I feel like that is the biggest. I think that's the hardest thing for women to do nowadays, to actually like find their true calling and find like their like be comfortable in the entrepreneurship, or like stay feminine in entrepreneurship, or you know, whatever, like get out of the blue collar as a visa holder anyway.
Yeah.
Because if you know you're so restricted on, you know, you having to do the hours, or it's so like common now to just, you know, just go to a FIFO and then you can make a lot of money, and then 5 years later you're still there and you're still like stuck in this circle, not even close to doing what you want to do. So I feel like for you now that you know you've been in Australia for 10 years, but you've already been doing Angel Lash for 8 years, you know, that's freaking amazing. I think a lot of us have, you know, like me, you know, I've been here 7 years and I'm still in the blue collar. So it's taken me such a longer time to actually go like full in, to be like, this is what I want to do. Like, this is what's working for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I don't think I had another option
true.
because I came back on a student visa and I couldn't go back to that job. So I had to do something different. Yeah, I was definitely kind of like pushed into that. Yeah.
Do you find it's hard to start in the beauty business now in Perth?
Yeah. Especially, well, depends what you want to do in beauty, but I think I've had the success with lashes because I started such a long time ago. I studied lashes when there was only like classic lashes. And you know, now there is like hybrid, volume, wispy, wet look, like all of these different things. So I've been able to study all of them as they have come out. When now, when you go into lashing, you have to learn all of them at the start, and it's hard. Yeah. But if you want to do something else like brows or permanent makeup or anything like this, I don't think market is like oversaturated. There is definitely room for everyone, but one advice I would definitely give to girls that want to come into the beauty industry is to study business as well, for sure, because yeah, your skill can only take you that far, and filling your calendar is easy, but a lot of people run into the burnout and the stress, and they lose the passion and joy in the work, and they start hating it. The quality goes down, or they can't find the clients and they keep chasing new clients and not understanding how to make clients stay. And yeah, definitely study business along with studying the skill.
Okay, I want to talk to you about something that I have been working on, because I genuinely think that this could help shape the podcast into something completely new. Do you know how you're a visa holder in Australia and you probably have a bunch of questions that you don't want to ask under your own name, or you're a bit too embarrassed, or you have a story that is either a funny one, the ugly cry one, or a story where you're like, I cannot believe this just happened to me. I want those stories. I have set up a completely anonymous Google form. No name, no login, nothing. You just fill it in and hit submit, whether it's your question that you're too scared to ask, or a really good story that I could use on this podcast or in an Instagram reel. so someone else can have a laugh, learn something, or not feel so alone in their own situation that they might be going through as well. The link is down below or in my Instagram bio, and it's called Share Your Aussie Story or Ask a Question. Let's do it. A little commercial break from this amazing podcast. I just wanted to shout out Pleasant Active products for you guys because I've been using them for the past few weeks and it's been absolutely amazing. I'm already seeing the changes that my hair goes through. So I've been using their shampoo, conditioner, and also their hair serum oils. It's absolutely amazing. I started using them because my hair used to be very long. It was really healthy and very thick and nice. But I just lost all of that when I moved to Australia because of working in the farming industry and also in FIFO. My hair is always exposed to very dusty environments, and also the water here is a lot harsher. Because I keep bleaching my hair as well, it's done its damage. But these products have really helped me to start my hair growth journey and really get my hair back to its healthy state. They use all of these amazing ingredients like placenta extract, keratin, liquid silk, glycerin to really nourish and strengthen your hair. I'm very excited to share with you my journey on how my hair will start growing back to life. And if you want to try out these products as well, please use a discount code which is the same as my Instagram username, so Birgit HVA. So it's like my name, Birgit Hyvä, but just skip the U in the middle. So let me know how you go if you do try out these products, and let's grow our hair long together. Now, you mentioned that every, woman or male who starts in the beauty industry, it's incredibly important to also study business on the side to actually make it grow, from just filling your schedule to actually getting like a proper business out of it. If you had, or if you could give like, I don't know, 2 or 3 examples to someone who's, at the start of their beauty industry journey and they actually want to grow the business, much further than just doing lashes and actually grow it into a proper brand. What do you feel like people need to be utilizing to grow their business from the business side, rather than just learning the skill?
That's a good question. I think first of all, you need to figure out where you want to go, because it's easy to think, I want to become a lash artist, study lashes and fill a calendar, but you need to know what's your next steps, and that kind of gives you a guidance where you want to grow. And I would say that definitely ask for help. I was not very good with that. Ask for help from people that know, who have done that, or who specialize in some areas that you struggle with. For example, for me, it was definitely bookkeeping, figuring out my pricing and like anything to do with numbers. That was the first thing that I asked help with, and to this day, I think that's why I've been successful, because I focused on my numbers from the get-go. I didn't price my services because, I don't know, Lisa down the street is asking a certain price and pricing according to that, rather than, but I was more focused on what I actually need to charge to make a profit. And what could be a third one? You need to create systems in your business as well. You need to create automations and set up your business in a way that you're not constantly working on your business. You're not constantly like chasing clients, messaging with clients, that all of these things are automated and made really easy. I definitely think, especially in the beauty industry, if you want to stay in that like nice and feminine flow and like ease in your business, you need those like stronger structures and systems in your business that can carry that. Yeah, I think those will be my main ones. Yeah.
Now you brought your business mindset and self-leadership workbook with us today, called Becoming Her. Who is this for, and what can they gain from this?
There is so much value in there. This is for women that are building their businesses or already running their businesses, mainly service-based businesses. So anyone in the beauty industry, coaches like PTs, anyone that's providing some type of service. A lot of this workbook is about self-development, identity work, figuring out who you are, who you want to be, and how close you are to that person. A lot of confidence and mindset work. And the other half of it is business. And you actually opened it on a very good page that is about life and business balance. So that's kind of the first step to creating that like balance in your life. One thing that I believe in is when we build our businesses and create our businesses, the business should support our life. We shouldn't be drowning in our businesses. So it's very important to like understand what your values in life, what you want to have more of in your life. For some people, it might be more time with family. For some people, it may be they want to travel, have holidays. So do you understand your other values and priorities in life as well, not just business? And yeah, how to build your business around that.
I think scheduling and actually utilizing Google Calendar has been a game changer for me as well. Like you said, like actually you need to take your whole life, like you have an audit in here as well, like what is important for you, and actually schedule it in, because you know it's like the biggest misconception out there. I feel like everybody nowadays wants to become an entrepreneur, but nobody actually realizes it's literally going to take up like 24/7 of your life, and it's so hard to, you know, at the beginning of your journey, it's so easy to get drowned into it, which is, I think, you know, in the growing phase, that's completely fine, and that's what happens. But like you said, when you actually, you now have a full calendar, you know, you're drowning in work, you're drowning in, you know, like follow-ups, scheduling, all of the things that you said that can be automated, to find personal time and things for your health and fitness and so on and so on. It's so hard. What do you feel like, from like the clients that you have been working with or teaching and coaching, because you've done it for quite a while now, like you were like teaching new lash clients, or new lash technicians who wanted to become, what do you feel like people always sort of misjudge that makes them burned out?
That's a good question. I think that a lot of girls these days want to become entrepreneurs, and especially in the beauty industry, everyone has been advertised those 6-figure years and all of these like flashy things, like owning your own salons and driving certain cars and whatnot. So I think the whole lifestyle has been very glamorized, and everyone thinks it's really easy. It's easy and quick money and good money, but no one really realizes how much work goes into building a business, growing, building a brand, growing the clientele, working with clients. When we work with clients, we like, I think it's like changing energies as well. Like by the end of the day, you have been working with so many clients, you've been in so like such like close contact with them, you're so trained. So you need to know those like boundaries that you need to have with yourself and with your clients, and for time as well. Like it's so easy to go into that cycle of I need more clients, I need more clients, I have a gap here, I could feel that. Or if you have that like demand to say yes to every client, yeah, it's really easy to get into that cycle.
Now, you did mention growing a brand. You have now, you know, like a lot of creators are mostly creating and just showing their, you know, work that they've done, whereas you have like pretty much for such a long time on your Instagram, you've gone straight into like brand building and building like an actual business behind it to actually gain the trust and teaching people about, you know, how to set up a business and so on and so on. Why has it been important for you, or where did it start coming to you to not only show off your work but actually like take people more like behind the scenes as well?
It has come over time. When I started with Angel Lash, I started like 7, 8 years ago when we only had Gumtree and Facebook, and how you got clients was posting lash photos and before and afters. But I feel like now when you want to have a successful business, you need to post more about yourself. People want to know who they're coming to. They want to know what your like vibe is like. They want to know what your space is like. They want to know more about yourself. And funnily enough, I've noticed when I post the most randomest things, like I'm going for a morning walk or I'm going out for dinner, that's when I get more bookings, more clients, or like more traction on my page. No one really wants to see those like lash photos anymore. And I actually don't remember the last time I posted a lash photo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you're still in the phase of like, you don't need new clients, like you're just fully booked out.
Yeah, and my focus is definitely more on the mentorship now. Yeah.
Looking back at your, you know, Australian journey overall, what have been for you like the biggest sort of highlights that you feel like, oh my God, I'm just so glad I ended up coming here?
I think the whole journey. I think when I came to Australia, I was so young. Like I can't expect much from like an 18, 19-year-old to know who they are or what they want to do with their life. But I think Australia, going through all of these experiences in a completely different culture, like language, you just grow so much. I feel like, well, I'm 30 now, and I think a lot of people that are in their like 50s, 60s, or like 40s, 50s haven't had that much of like life experience, and some are still struggling to understand who they are, or like where the passion is, or they're very like settled, when I think in Australia you are almost never settled. You're always out, like in your out of your comfort zone. And yeah, I think the whole journey, like it wasn't easy. It hasn't been easy. It's actually been quite hard, but I've learned so much about myself. And yeah, I'm very grateful for that.
What can you say for like women who are still in the stage of like, what helped you the most to heal after those relationships and you know, just finding yourself overall?
I think my work, and I think being surrounded by like-minded people and women is very healing. I think there is something in that, like womanhood or sisterhood, and yeah, I think that 3 weeks in Bali with this like beautiful group of women was very healing experience for me, for sure.
It sounds expensive. Was it very expensive?
It wasn't.
How
It
much?
wasn't at all. I think it was close to $4,000,
Oh wow, that's
but
pretty
it
good.
was everything included for the whole time. Yeah.
Do you feel like now you would do yoga teaching on the side, or was that sort of for your own like growth?
It was definitely for my own growth. I don't see myself as a yoga teacher, but there are definitely a lot of things that I am taking from that training and from that time that I want to bring into my work now. And one of my teachers said as well, so at the end of the training, we had to do a class, and he said that he knew that I don't want to become a yoga teacher. He said, Angelica, you need to start doing something. You need to do events, or you need to start doing something in that field. And I think that is something I will want to do maybe, is to do events for women and something in the field. I don't know what exactly yet. But
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. What else is coming for you? I mean, you still haven't fully published your workbook, but where you said like right now you're doing three days a week. You're doing like your lashes and brows. What else are you working on?
I think the mentorship is the biggest one right now. Yeah, mentorship. I want to do that. And I think with the mentorship, I can go to so many ways. I want to do one-on-one at first, and maybe in the future group mentorships. And yeah, I think events will be something I want to do in the future.
Yeah, I love that. Perth is like the best place to do it. It's definitely something that's been crossing my mind as well, to build a community around, business minded women, and how to actually, because like you said before, like and how you've shared on Instagram, I loved how you shared it through like don't get stuck in the hustle culture as a woman. I feel like I've definitely gone into that spiral of like only listening to like Alex Hormozy and like so on and so on, like always being like, more is always better, whereas that will literally lead to burnout anyway. And then it will just be like stuck in your bed, not wanting to do everything, or being like such a perfectionist that you're not putting anything out there at all. So I feel like that's such an interesting sort of wave of new knowledge that is starting to come out for women, of like, you don't have to choose between, doing business or like being this home, stay at home woman, like that they can actually be intertwined. Like you can be such an amazing woman entrepreneur, but you can also be a nurturing feminine woman. Like they can absolutely work together. Whereas I feel like for such a long time, I've personally felt like, oh no, I can only do business now, and then once I start having kids, then I have to drop everything to the side, and then I'm just only there for, which is, most of the time anyway. But anyway, I like, my point was like, I feel like it's such an amazing journey of like where this wave of like new entrepreneurial women is like taking us to, that you can build a very successful business while being, still grounded and not going with the hustle culture.
I feel like with the hustle culture and doing a lot and pushing your business, I think it is good for some time. Like when you are in that growing stage, or when you have just launched, when you feel like you have that energy to put into your business, like definitely use that energy then and there, but don't forget about yourself. Like when you start feeling tired, when you start feeling uninspired, that's when you take a break. And
But it's so hard to take a break when you're an entrepreneur. Like, I can never switch my brain out. How do you do it? Because I'm always, like, literally, I'll be already, my eyes are shut and I've already been in bed for 30 minutes. And then I'm like, no, I need to write down this idea. Like, it never stops. How do you come out of it?
That's a good question. Sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
You just have to go to sleep. But I think one really good thing for me has been, the simplest thing ever, has been walking. I love going for long walks. I think as Estonians, we have that 10,000 steps a day thing, which, by the way, I thought is normal and everyone does that. But I've come to a realization it's Estonians. Yeah, walking or running. That's actually another thing I learned in the yoga training is forward movement. So walking, running, swimming, movement like this is really good for like resetting and recharging, and being in the nature is so important. And also, as an entrepreneur, I think it is really easy to get into this like cycle, in this like spiral of working a lot. But I've also realized that sometimes you have to like force yourself to take a break. And when you come back from the break, if it was a 1 hour break or half an hour, or if you went for a holiday, it doesn't matter how long, if you come back from that break, you actually have more energy, more ideas, more inspiration, and your work is better.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
just
and
a
you
lot
have more
better, but
energy to give to your clients, your people, so on.
Yeah, I found when I was working a lot, I was always rushed, and I was so like stressed when I was like, I didn't even have my food with me some days, and I just grabbed something to snack, and it was such a unhealthy way of being and running a business. Now when I look back at this, I'm like, I can't believe like some clients stayed with me because their energy around me must have not been like that great. But I feel like now when I have cut down my hours and working on something new that brings me that like new energy and new inspiration, I find I'm so much more present with my clients. Yeah. If you are like well rested and you have taken the time to put in yourself, then yeah, you're more present and your work is better. It is just like better quality. And it's more enjoyable. And I think that's why I have been able to, or why I'm still having so much like passion in my work and love for my work, is because I've learned that you do need to put yourself first and look after yourself first. You can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah. Must be so hard to put the brakes on. I'm just imagining, like all the beauty therapists that I go to, you're always, whether you go on a vacation or it's like Christmas break or whatever, it's like people will fully book you out for like 4 or 3 weeks, like in advance already, if you're going on holiday, because everybody wants to come before you go, and so on and so on. So then you're like fully flat out before you even take a break. So it's like you're falling downhill, and it must be so hard to, if you've already built up that clientele like list, to take that day off, because then everybody will write to you like, oh my god, please like take me in, like it must be so hard to actually establish those boundaries and be like, no, like I need to meet me. Like, I can't meet
Yeah.
everyone else's needs before mine.
Yeah. Yeah, it is definitely you have to learn that. Yeah, you have to be very conscious about it. I think I have now when I go away on a holiday or if I'm not working for whatever reason, I've got a few other lash artists that I trust and I recommend. So all my clients that need appointments at those times, I just send to them and I give them all the information about the lashes or brows, and yeah, they are still taken care of. Yeah.
That must be scary. Aren't you scared to lose your clients, or if they're already a loyal client, they'll always come back to you?
I think I have a very good relationship with those lash artists. So I don't think that they will try to poach my clients, which can happen in the beauty industry. But I think if you have built relationships and trust with your clients, then they are very likely to come back. And if they don't, then I always think, well, there was a reason, whether that place is closer or they like to work more or it suits their hours more. So I don't really take that personally. Yeah.
Like you shared before, coming out of 2 toxic relationships, because our girl was broken. Not broken, sorry.
I was very broken.
Do you find it hard to now sustain a healthy relationship after having a long period of time of toxic relationships? But because I feel like women do get low-key addicted to toxicity. How have you found, like, to heal yourself in a better relationship?
You just become the toxic one.
You're like doing the backflip.
Yeah, I'm like, now it's my turn.
No, but really, like, do you find
I'm just joking.
No, but I do feel I can see that honestly from myself, that I've found it, that's my new norm. Like, now when I have a healthy partner, like, I would like purposely like stir up the relationship, because I'm like, no, this feels like too boring and healthy for me. Like, I need to fuck shit up.
Yeah, but that's what women do sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually probably a little dopamine hit that you need every now and then.
It's true. I've heard that ADHD women actually get dopamine from couples fights. Yeah.
Yeah. But
that's mad. Poor men. Do you find it hard to sustain it now? Like, do you feel like you personally have to do so much inner work to, like, not go back into the same cycle, sort of?
That's a good question. So I think in my last relationship wasn't like as horrible as that first one. And during that relationship, because I had been in that really horrible relationship and going through domestic violence and all of that, in my last relationship, I had a time where the relationship started going downhill, and I realized that the common thing between those relationships is me. So that was really hard moment to look at yourself and understand that some of that lays on you. So it's really easy to be in the victim mindset and victim mentality and be like, oh, all these people are horrible and men are horrible and all of that. But when you look at yourself and you're like, well, why am I in this? Like, what am I bringing that is creating that environment? So I started going to therapy, and I did something like psychohypnosis, or I don't know what it was called, but it is working with your subconscious mind. And I started noticing these like patterns and beliefs, and how am I talking to my partner, or what I am showing to my partner, that they then think that they can be a certain way with you. So that's kind of maybe where my like bigger self-development journey started as well. I started working on myself more, and yeah, at some point I realized in that relationship as well, like I now want these things from my life, when before I was really lost. I didn't really know what I want or who I am. But I started working with myself, understanding who I am, what I want, and also what I'm bringing to the table, because I was bringing a lot to the table. And if you are in that relationship, you're just giving more and more and more, and it's never enough, and you feel like you're not doing enough. But I was like, wait a minute. I'm bringing so much like good things to this relationship, and I'm not getting that back. So when I started dating again, I was pretty like straightforward of the things that I want and expect. And I had learned to communicate better, when before I would like not express how I'm feeling, or what I want, or what's my expectations. But I think now I'm pretty good at that. So if I don't like something, I say it straight away. If I want something, I say it. Yeah, I'm very clear in that sense. And I'm also, whenever I feel like I want to stir something up, I'm like, I go for a walk, or I do something to avoid that. But every now and then, it's,
spice
just
it up a little bit.
have some fun. Yeah.
We haven't talked much about just like overall like the beginning of your Australian journey and so on, but you being here for over 10 years, and obviously you've been like so much in close contact with so many probably different. I actually didn't ask that, if most of your clients are still, do you have a lot of Estonian clients, or are you mostly like Australian?
Mostly Australian.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But if you, now that you obviously you've met so many new Estonians that have come here to Australia, as what do you sort of see that people, as in like common mistakes that new like visa holders and so on sort of do? Is there anything that you can sort of?
I think when I look back, so when I was in Estonia, I had just finished high school, and I remember that finishing high school was better than learning a trade. But now when I look back, I'm like, I want to tell every like 14, 15, 16-year-old, if they're choosing where they're going to continue their education, unless they want to study something in the uni, or they have like very clear understanding of who they want to become, I would say to everyone, like, go and learn a trade. Learn some kind of trade, get a paper that you've learned it, and that will make your visa journey so much easier. Yeah, when I came here, I had no trade, like nothing. So that makes the journey easier. I would think so.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And another thing that I never understood was when you come to Australia, a lot of Estonians go and hang out with other Estonians.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah. And they don't really like come to this culture, or they don't really explore this culture a lot, and they stay stuck in that. Yeah, that's one thing that I never like really understood, but I guess it can also be helpful to be surrounded by other Estonians.
Yeah, I guess it depends. Yeah, I do feel like there is a certain different level of the Australian journey itself, whether you come here, you know, some people come here and they have everything already set out to them, like their job, where they're going to live, what they're going to do, everything. People are just going to do everything for them.
Yeah.
Where it's like you're not going to have the authentic Australian journey at all.
Yeah, but then look at me. I didn't hang out with Estonians, and I ended up in all of these like messed up situations.
True.
But
True.
yeah, I remember after my second year in Australia, I had only been around Australians. I had only been working with Australians and in that environment. And when I went back to Estonia, I had such a big shock. Because I would go to the supermarket and be like, "Hi, how are you?
I know.
How's your day been?" I thought they're going to escort me out with the security.
I know. I had the same thing. I had even my Ari's parents were visiting Australia. They were here for 5 weeks, and his mom went back home with like the Australian spirits, and then went to her apartment building. And as this older woman came out of her, apartment, she was like, "Oh, hi, how are you?" She just shouted. She was like, "Why do you care how I am?" I was like, "Welcome to Estonia."
Yeah.
But I truly feel like it's been better. I don't know, when was the last time you last went home?
I mean, in January.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah.
Okay. I do feel like it's shifting with like the new youth that is coming on. I feel like they're so much braver. There's so much like they have this new energy in them that people like are just so much more open and positive than I reckon when I was still there. Or maybe it's because my life has changed. Now I'm able to see it and surround myself with it. I'm not sure which way it is, but maybe. Before we get to the end of this podcast, because now you're doing, mentorship. You have been in the business for 8 years, growing your own businesses and brands to the next level. What would you say to a person who is stuck in the mode of like they know what they want to do and they just can't get the first step to actually get started?
Tough time. I don't know. That's a good question. I think if someone has been knowing for a long time what they want to do, they just have to start, and being so wishy-washy about it. Just talking about it and thinking, I want to start this or do that, is not really getting them anywhere. If they want to start, they have to start and see how they go and learn on the go. There will not be a perfect time to start. No one is ever like confident enough or ready to start something. Most people just start and go with it.
Yeah. You'll never be ready. That's true.
Yeah.
What's coming for you? Let's paint a picture of you in 5 years.
That's a good question too. To be honest, I don't really want to plan that much ahead. I feel like in my life, whenever I made big plans like that, something has happened and it has completely changed. But hopefully in 5 years, maybe I have started my family, or I'm about to start building a family, and hopefully I'm closer to my family in Estonia.
I love that. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming to this podcast and sharing your journey. I do hope that if you who has been listening until the end felt touched or felt a bit triggered maybe by or talk about toxic relationships, or maybe you needed a bit of a hard love with pushing your own ambitions and business plans and so on forward, then may this be your push to get you onto the other side of the line and actually get you started. And if it was useful for you, please share it with your friend, because it really helps the podcast to grow. All of Angelica's information too, if you do want business coaching, I will put it down below. I don't think you can book an appointment with her, but maybe you can try. Good luck.
Yeah. If there's time in the calendar, yeah, everyone's welcome. I will never say no to new clients, but it's just oftentimes I'm booked ahead. So yeah.
Well, thank you again, and thank you for listening. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you if you've been with me since the beginning, and if you haven't, please make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. It really helps me to spread this podcast to everyone who might find this useful. I'm so excited that you're here, and if you like this episode, please share it with someone you know. Thank you.